So what I've been doing is literally sitting at parks and having conversations with random people. Honestly, these interviews have been so eye-opening for me. Some of them were very emotional. We are just the same as anyone out here on the streets. What is good, everybody? It's your girl Fallen, and I'm here with some content, I guess. I haven't done a video in a long time. This feels weird. So I wanted to come on here and talk about something that I have been working on for quite a while now. But before I talk about that, I want to talk about the problem that I'm trying to address. And this is the dehumanization of like homeless people. Pause. So I want to clarify something. The definition that I'm using for dehumanization is the viewing and treatment of another person as though they lack the mental capacities that are commonly attributed to human beings. See, I'm not neglecting the fact that there are individuals who suffer mental illness, but the problem lies when we assume that every homeless person does not have the same mental capacity as you and I simply because of their living condition. We see homeless people everywhere. Even though it's a super visible problem, these individuals often feel like they're invisible. I was in Georgetown, which is in DC, for those of you guys who do not know that, but I was standing at an intersection trying to cross the street, and there was this man there kindly talking to people, saying, "Excuse me, ma'am, do you have change?" People completely ignored him. Not only did they not even like look at him, completely pretended like he didn't even exist. It's so much easier for people to just ignore. And this comes from the dehumanization of homeless people. What I'm saying is that us as individuals, as a society, if we start looking at homeless people and begin to rehumanize them, we can be able to tackle on this problem in an effective way. I've been going to DC for the past couple months and interviewing homeless people. And okay, it's very difficult because it's like, you don't know who's homeless. So what I've been doing is literally sitting at parks and having conversations with random people. The first time I went was very confusing. Like I went with my friend and we were talking to people and it was just like we weren't really sure who was homeless or not. So every time I went after that, I just sat in parks where usually a lot of people come for doing clothing drives and stuff. And I just go around and talk to people, and I have conversations with people, and I hopefully run into someone who's homeless. But I find that out through conversation because I realize that you can't look at the way someone looks and assume that they're homeless. That's part of the problem. And that's something that I had to correct myself, because that's the mentality that I had going in, that I'm just gonna look at them and be like, yeah, I know you homeless or not. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, these interviews have been so eye-opening for me. Some of them were very emotional. People choose to be homeless, but there are quite a few people who don't have a will to live anymore. There's so many people who are out here on the streets who don't even feel like they're a human. I definitely think that people will benefit from seeing these people's stories, because we begin to realize that we are just the same as anyone out here on the streets. I believe that each homeless person is an individual. Homeless is like your living condition. What is the definition of homeless? Where's my phone? Let's search up the definition of homeless. Hey Siri, what does homeless mean?
Homeless means of a person without a home and therefore typically living on the streets.
Homelessness describes your living condition. Well, we use it as an adjective to sometimes if someone says you look homeless, you're trying to say that they look rough, that they looking rough. Homelessness just means they don't have a home. Look, I'm honestly just a kid with some big dreams for a better world. I know I'm not the only one. With this in mind, I started Let Them Speak. So my project is aimed at bridging the gap between society and those who are looked at as outcasts. I'm giving a platform for people to feel like they're being heard, that their struggles are being heard by people. This one guy told me, he's like, I probably get fed more than you, Fallen. And I was like, what do you mean by that? And he was like, he said on good days though you'll have like 6 different hot meals. and he was like, I'm grateful for these things, but sometimes you just need someone to talk to. Sometimes it's not just about food and clothes. Sometimes it's just about feeling heard. And I realized that if I want to help the homeless, I'm gonna do something different, because people need food, people need clothes, and God bless the people who are doing that, projects who are doing that. But I realized that I need to help in a different way, and that is just by changing the way we think about homeless people, our outlook, the way society looks at them. In the future, I do plan on expanding and doing many different projects, but Let Them Speak will be my first project under Set Apart, which is in the works of becoming a nonprofit organization, you heard? So yeah, with that being said, make sure you stay connected on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. In this project, it can be entertaining. I mean, it can be informative to hear these stories, but take action with that. I'm not saying go start a nonprofit organization and feed the homeless, but next time you see that person at the crosswalk, smile at them, even if you don't have money. Acknowledge their presence, you know what I mean? And it's simple things like that that we just neglect, but that have such a big impact. I ask everyone, leave their stereotypes at the door, leave your assumptions at the door, and let them speak, because everyone has a story.